guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure, to find it empty, our cry is steer. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Futsa and Nirt, Futsa and Chiel, got Bua, got Tolan, got Trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill, each victory, each talent, each trial. Great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Dandusiolas, Mila Truar, Ahleduline, Beda nights into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abide. String the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore, to find it until our greatest deed. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. To walk within your grace, blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, welcome to another cast and podcast and Pax Dei, shall we? All right. This is episode 131, Adaptability. Bending with the winds of change. Gotta love it. I did not come up with that title. And to an AI, give me a title. And that said, here are some titles. And I was like, yeah, this Bending with the winds of change. I like it. I like it. There is something I'm looking on my other conversation that I need to look at before I continue, because there was a correction I needed to make, and I didn't make it before the podcast, so I'm making it now. And what is that change, you might ask? It is about one of my citations, and I do not want to misquote somebody. And I will find that misquote somewhere. Here we go. All right, let's see. And I am going to Place that in there. All right. Let me undo that real quick. I'll place this in like. Oh boy. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. Sure. Okay. So I'm a stickler with citations. If I need to get it right, I will. Well, welcome to Pax Day. Sorry about that. We are in a 1.145413, and I did not read the updates on the version that I just read to you. So I'm remiss. I didn't think they had an update today. I just didn't follow it. Let's see if I can find that real quick, because it will be useful. And if you hear a bump, that's me hitting my head. It's starting up. All right, here we go. Let's go to the Pax Day page and go to announcements. Let's see. So we did what? All right, so there was a surprise Easter patch I didn't know about, which gave us a new miracle called fast travel. That's nice. This will be available in Pax Day, allowing you to travel across land more quickly for a price. Whether you're headed to a distant market, meeting up with friends, or chasing your next adventure, fast travel helps you get there faster. So, of course, it's a miracle teleport within your current province directly from the map. It consumes grace to cast, offers a practical way to cut down on long travel times. Destination must be discovered. Makes sense. You can teleport to a Petra Dei, which is one of the Home Valley center stones, for 20 grace. Or you can teleport to a gateway, which is a portal to other provinces, including Lioness, which is our PvP, for 30 grace points. Petra May, which is returning you to the Petra Dei, is still free with a cooldown, which means I just return to my home valley. That's always been free. I'm glad they kept it that way. Travel between provinces is not yet available, but it may be in the future. So a province is not your home valley. It's the entire map that I'm currently in. So I can't teleport to another map, but I can teleport there. They added some Spanish and Polish language mods, and let's see. Yeah, I guess that was it. That was the big update. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure everybody, I am playing the game for everybody. I hope you're enjoying the game if you do play. It's an awesome game. Welcome to my bedroom. Amphitheater's bedroom, technically. I'm still doing some work on it. And we will, let's see what else they did as we go across the country and see what we're gonna do. Oh, I see. So you go to your map, and then you can, looks like you can teleport right to the stones. Okay. Interesting. Oh, where the portals? Okay, I see. So I guess I have to have been there. I see. Why is my grace at 0? Did they reset? No. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, what the heck? I got a lot of grace. All right. So you can't travel to anything you haven't been to? Only the path. Oh, I see. It's only these that you can travel to. I've been to most of these. Weird. I'll figure out how to use that. That's all right. Let's look at our journal anyway. I'm not going to use that right now. I got some armor smithing I can do. What else do I want to do here? I should do some jewelry making if I have the pieces parts. Let me see if I have the pieces parts. And then if I don't, I'll go get some gems from the from mining and see what I can craft. Oh, wrong. There we go. I have some baking I can do as well. I have a lot of gems. So what do I need? Bronze and tourmaline. Do I have any tourmaline? I don't have any tourmaline. Plenty of bronze. Some tourmaline. No tourmaline. Ah, there's some tourmaline. Not enough, though. Let's go get some tourmaline. I'll do that. Actually stack them. What do you think? Okay, let's go get some tourmaline. So I'm going to need some mining. So I'll need one weapon and a pickaxe, essentially. Home Valley should be good enough. Here's my pickaxe. And perhaps... I'll stay in my Home Valley, so I won't need any arrows. I'll bring this just in case, but no, I don't see me using a healing potion when things get rough. I should have a one-handed spear. Two-handed. A one-handed spear. There we go. Actually, you know what? I need to work on my mace a little bit, so I'll do that. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm not bringing this. If I die, it's because of my foolishness in the Home Valley. Anyway. Let's see. What else do I have to do here? I should have checked to see. There should have been a 4 up here. See if there's anybody in my Home Valley. Then I'll start the conversation about adaptability. All right. I did get pickaxe, right? Nope. But I didn't. There we go. All right, let's start the conversation on adaptability. So I'm going to start out with a quote, and that's the attribution I needed to find out at the beginning of this. It is not the strongest of species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most adaptable to change. A lot of people attribute that to Darwin, but he didn't say it. It was actually Leon C. Megginson, a business professor who paraphrased Darwin's ideas in a 1963 article. I didn't know that. You gotta love the research you can do on the internets and through AI. So this sets the stage for our journey, right? Ooh, let me get on top of this. There we go. This one takes a little concentration. So, welcome to episode 131. If you didn't hear me in the beginning, getting up there in episodes, huh? Where we're going to delve into adaptability, the art of adjusting our approach, behavior, or mindset when faced with change, challenges, or uncertainty. In a world where the only constant is change, adaptability is like our personal skill tree. that needs a constant level up. Really? Ooh, 34. That sucked. I'm going to go to the mining area within the home valley. All right. So, but what exactly do I mean by adaptability? What is your definition of adaptability? It can be a couple different things, right? But in our case, we are looking at, or let me give you the psychology's approach after I take this animal out. Always skin, even though I'm going to drop everything from this board up here. Don't need anything from the board. Wrong way. So, in psychology, adaptability refers to an individual's ability, skill, disposition, willingness, and/or motivation to change or fit different tasks or task. Let's go. I know I'm not here for this, but you know what? Let me do it. Oh. I have to keep looking around. Jeez. There we go. Here's some stuff. So let me read that again because it's a long definition and I cut it in twain. So it's but in psychology, an individual's ability, skill, disposition, willingness, and/or motivation to change or fit different tasks, social or environmental features. Long definition. In plain terms, it's our capacity to adjust to new conditions. This can mean pivoting our plans when life throws us a curveball, staying mentally flexible when our beliefs are challenged, or learning a new skill when technology evolves. Adaptability is considered a key mental resource. People who are adaptable can tap into greater psychological reserves under stress. In fact, scientists say many of our greatest achievements come not just from IQ, but qualities like creativity, curiosity, and cognitive flexibility. Essentially, the traits that let us learn and adapt. To understand and appreciate adaptability, we're going to go and explore across three major domains of life: personal, professional settings, and even gaming, MMORPGs to be in specific. So you might be asking, why gaming? Because I'm playing a game. No, I'm kidding. Because of the virtual worlds of games often mirror real-life principles, and they're a perfect playground for observing adaptability in action. Along the way, I'm going to weave in some wisdom from ancient philosophies like Stoicism, Taoism, Indian and African proverbs, and indigenous insights, and findings from modern psychology and neuroscience. We'll share stories, real-world examples, and even metaphors that gamers and digital natives will find relatable. So whether you're navigating a tough relationship, steering your career through a pivot, or facing a surprise boss fight in your favorite MMORPG. This episode should guide you through the mindset of adaptability. You'll find more rocks to... Here we are. By the end of this, I'm going to say these episodes because there's a lot of material here. But by the end of these, you'll not only understand adaptability on a deeper level, you'll also have some practical insights on how to develop this crucial skill in your own life. Let's begin our journey with a foundational truth that echoes philosophies around the world. Change is inevitable, and how we respond makes all the difference. So let's start with adaptability in your personal life. I think there's a boar up here, so I want to be ready for combat. There he is. Use some magic on him. Magic. I'm on auto run and I can't seem to stop. Alright, that's weird. I am weirded out by this. Maybe that worked? Nope. I can't stop running. And I can't use WSD. Ah, there it goes. Alright, that was weird. Come on, developers. Do one update and everything goes to shit. Come on. Come on now. Late in the early access. Anyway, at any rate, it seems to be working now. And there's some rocks up here that I need to run to. Alright, so where were we? So life at home and in our inner world often presents the first tests of adaptability. From the day we're born, we learn to adapt. A baby adjusting to life outside the womb, a child asking the endless why question, to figure out an ever-expanding world. Our personal lives encompass our relationships, our daily routines, our mental and emotional health, and even our lifestyle choices. How we handle change here forms the template for how we handle everything else. So essentially, think of it as a foundation, right? So let's consider a simple everyday scenario. You plan a relaxing weekend, but suddenly a friend calls in crisis. Or an appliance in your home breaks down. Flooding the kitchen, maybe, right? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Or Sun Tzu said, your battle plan only lasts until the meeting with the enemy. I'm paraphrasing. But essentially, we're talking about the same thing, right? And Tyson said that one. Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, hopefully, none of us literally are getting punched. And this is ideally, right? Life will punch us metaphorically. Be it through unexpected events or challenges. Adaptability is our ability to roll with those punches instead of falling apart. And especially when our plans crumble, we want to stay steadfast. Instead, we pivot. We find a new plan. Adaptability. We're adapting to the situation, right? So what can we learn from ancient wisdom? Well, nearly every ancient philosophy teaches us the wisdom of accepting change. There's a famous folktale about King Solomon who sought a cure for despair. His wise men gave him a ring inscribed with the words, "This too will pass." Solomon found whenever he felt overly sad or overly jubilant. A glance at the ring reminded him that no state is permanent. Indeed, "this too shall pass" has echoed through Persian, Hebrew, and many cultures as a reminder that all situations are temporary. The message, don't cling too tightly to good times or bad times. Life is change. By accepting the truth, we suffer less and adapt more easily. Let's see, the Gaham Ze Ya Avur, meaning "this too will pass," right? In the Buddhist tradition, there's a concept of unicca, meaning impermanence. The Buddha taught that and I didn't get which Buddha, but the Buddha taught that everything in life is in flux. Our youth, our feelings, the people we know, all transient. Suffering comes when we cling to things that were as if they were permanent. A poignant Buddhist parable tells us of a woman grieving her lost child. The Buddha sends her to find a household untouched by death, to get a mustard seed. She returns empty-handed, but enlightened that no one escapes change and loss. By understanding impermanence, she learns to accept her tragedy and continue living. This story underlines the adaptability. That adaptability often begins with acceptance. Recognizing reality for what it is now, not what it was yesterday, or what we wish it to be. Very stoic, really. You think about it. You apply our terms. Should I eat something? And I'm going into Stoic philosophers, if you hadn't guessed. In ancient Greece and Rome, also spoke of adapting one's mindset to fate. They use the term amor fati, which is Latin for love of fate. I'm going to wait for these rocks to generate. I know it's not going to be... Well, you know what? I go up here. I know where there's more rocks. I have to read notes. So it's harder to... actually do two things at once. Hi. I got it. Oh well, I don't need that, don't need that. I'm just looking for precious stones and probably sand, because I need more bottles. You always need bottles. Vials, technically. Alright, where was I? Here I am. I should find a better way to write these notes, honestly. So, the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius compared a resilient mind to a blazing fire that makes flame, he quote, makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it. In other words, every obstacle becomes fuel for your growth if you choose to adapt and use it. Another Stoic, Epictetus, who said, or who endured years of slavery, advised, quote, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, want them to happen the way they do happen. Then you will be happy. Yeah, I'll give you a second to digest that one. So this isn't about passive resignation, by the way. Let me go kill this thing real quick. Man, there's a lot of wood over here. I thought I'd get that 45, but I didn't do it. I should take the wool too, honestly. You know what? I will take the wool. There's not a lot of wool. I'm gonna take the wool. I always need wool. I think I want to go over here. I don't believe there's any wool down here. There we go. Okay. So where was I? Oh, with that line, yeah. So it like I was saying, it's not about passive resignation, but about directing your energy where it can actually make a difference. Your own attitude and actions. You can control them. It's not wasting it in a futile resistance to what you cannot change. The modern interpretation of a more what was it? I'm looking up the pronunciation. Amor fati encourages us to say, okay, this is what's in front of me. How can I make the best of it? It's a powerful mindset of actively adapting to reality, much like a surfer riding a wave. You can't control the wave, but you can adjust your stance to ride it. Right? Let me see where I am. There we go. So, likewise, in the Taoist philosophy of ancient China, we find beautiful metaphors of flexibility. Lao Tzu, in the Tao Te Ching, I think it's Tao Te Ching, observes how the natural world favors the supple and yielding. A tree, quote, a tree that cannot bend will crack in the wind, he writes. This image conjures a mighty oak, rigid, proud, snapping in the storm, while a humble reed survives by bending with the gusts. Taoism urges us to be like water, soft, flexible, adaptive, because water can flow around any obstacle and even erode the hardest rock over time. Quote, the most yielding thing in our world will overcome the most rigid, Lao Tzu. In practice, this means resilience through flexibility, instead of meeting force with force, sometimes we prevail by yielding and adapting. There's even a term, wu wei, often translated as effortless action or non-action. It doesn't mean do nothing, but rather aligning with the natural flow of events. A Taoist sage would say that if we stop rigidly trying to control every outcome and instead respond fluidly to the changes around us, we'll find a kind of strength in harmony, much like a dancer who moves with the music. Let me run over here real quick. So from these ancient insights, patterns emerge, right? Adaptability in personal life often starts in the mind. It's the mental flexibility to accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what could be. It's maintaining inner balance. It's what the I think it's Bhagavad. Yeah, it's Bhagavad Gita. The ancient Indian text calls what is it? Sumat Yum? No, Vum. Suvatyum. Sumut Vyum. Or equanimity. I know I'm spinning out these words that I can't pronounce either, but I needed to put them in here because they are literally from the texts that I researched, and I want you to be familiar with them. So, equanimity, being steady in both success and failure, is what you want. In the Gita, Lord Krishna advises the warrior Arjuna to quote, fight the good fight. Basically, do his duty, while, quote, remaining balanced in pleasure and pain, gain and loss, unquote. Essentially, teaching adaptability of perspective. Focus on your efforts and adapt to whatever outcome without losing your center. Very important. So, what's the psychology of personal adaptability? Well, we've heard from the ancient, right? Ancient wisdom gives us the poetic metaphors. Modern psychology and neuroscience show us the mechanisms behind them. One key concept is cognitive flexibility. Let me go take care of these before we get into cognitive flexibility. There we go. I make it look easy, but if you, I'm in the home valley, and I'm more powerful than these creatures for sure. So don't think these are easy creatures if you're just starting out in the game. I'm making it look easy because the level of my character. Anyway, so cognitive flexibility, which is basically the brain's adaptability on display. Cognitive flexibility is defined as, quote, the ability to switch between different concepts or adapt behavior to achieve goals in a novel or changing environment, unquote. It's like mental agility, knowing when your approach isn't working and being able to change tact smoothly. Over this way. This is going to be interesting. There we go. That's interesting. I fell that far and didn't take damage. Don't get me wrong. I'm okay with that. Hopefully they get that a little bit more consistent. At any rate, let's talk about cognitive flexibility. So, for example, if you always take a certain route, I'm gonna check to see if I can get attacked here. Yeah. Here we are. So if you always take a certain route to work, but one morning you find your path blocked, a cognitively flexible person will quickly map out an alternate route rather than sit in traffic cursing the disruption. So during the recent global pandemic, researchers noted that people with higher cognitive flexibility coped better with sudden changes, like the lockdowns. They created new routines or tried varied ways to work and learn from home, whereas more rigid folks felt paralyzed and stuck. This illustrates mental adaptability directly impacts our ability to handle personal upheavals, things out of the norm. I'm afraid to use that auto run right now. It didn't turn off the last time. I wonder if it was a load thing. Anyway. So psychologists also talk about psychological flexibility, a concept related to adaptability. It's essentially our ability to tolerate feeling uncomfortable and still act in line with our values or goals. Someone who is psychologically flexible can adapt or can accept difficult emotions like anxiety about a new situation and still move forward rather than being derailed by fear of the unknown. This trait is strongly linked to better mental health and coping. It makes sense, right? Let me grab this real quick. This trait is also strongly linked to in fact, the opposite. Psychological rigidity is found in many disorders like anxiety, depression, and OCD. For instance, a hallmark of obsessive compulsive disorder is cognitive rigidity, getting, quote, stuck, unquote, on certain thoughts or routines. Developing more flexible thinking patterns is a target of therapies like CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. So CBT actually trains people to reframe thoughts and consider alternative perspectives. In essence, to break out of the rigid thought loops and adapt their thinking, which has been shown to increase well-being. We're always going back to this well-being, right? We'll die going that way. Ah, crap. Yeah, it's a good area to drop stuff. Ah, I didn't want to drop that. That's all right. It's not like I'm not going to get more stone. There we go. I really wanted to increase these up too. That's if I'm on the stone foraging, maybe collection, stone collection. You can make sand. You can make sand out of stone. I want to see if this guy's been here for a while, and he hasn't really done anything with the place. Really? I also kill things while I'm here. Forgot about this bar. So in this bar, little game, we'll take a break from the information. This bar does not allow you to drop things readily. Like I can get up to here and I can just drop stuff with a button push. Down in the equipment bar, I'm going to call it the equipment bar, you cannot do that. All right, let's go get some more wool maybe. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. I really need to get the bases up to 40. So I'll continue with the bases until such a time as I get to level 40. That was close enough. All right. That was me hitting the E and facing the tree. It said I didn't have an axe, basically not a suit. It'll automatically do it. This guy's like right next to like a whole quarry. He has access to all the sand he wants. Okay, let's talk. Another framework you might have heard of is Dr. Carol Dweck's mindset theory. Dweck identified a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. You probably heard this in your company. If you have a fixed mindset, you believe abilities and traits are set in stone. I just can't do math, or I'm either good at this or I'm not. Fixed mindset. A growth mindset means believing you can develop your abilities through effort and learning. Like statements like, I can improve at math if I work at it, or skills can be learned over time. Why this is relevant to adaptability? Because growth mindset makes you adaptable in the face of challenges. Research shows people with more of a growth mindset are more likely to thrive in the face of difficulty and continue to improve, whereas those with a fixed mindset may shy away from challenges or give up early. In other words, if you see a setback or setbacks as learning opportunities rather than as proof of your limitations, you're quicker to adjust your strategy and try again. A key aspect of adaptability. For example, imagine you're trying to learn a new language or a musical instrument and you hit a plateau. And we all have hit plateaus. A fixed mindset might make you think, I'm just not talented, or I should quit. But a growth mindset encourages you to adapt your learning approach. Maybe try a different practice method, seek help, or simply persist longer. Operating on a belief that improvement is possible. Over time, that adaptable approach pays off in greater skill. No, really? So neuroscience gives us even more literal view of adaptability through the concept of neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new experiences or damage. Our brains are not static. They're remarkably adaptable organs. A famous study in London showed that taxi drivers who spent years memorizing the city's the streets, right? The labyrinth of streets actually developed a larger hippocampus, which is the brain's region for region key for memory and navigation. Other people more over than other people, right? The longer they had been at the job, the more brain's gray matter had grown to accommodate the demands of the knowledge. As the exhaustive memorization test for London cabbies is called into existence, right? They had to learn it or they wouldn't make money. Man, I keep running out of food. Okay. In essence, their brains adapted physically to help them perform their navigational feats. This kind of structural change is neuroplasticity in action, literally adapting to perform better in a changed or challenging environment. Another striking example. Maybe look for some rocks first, and I'll give you that striking example. Maybe if I go back down. Not yet proficient enough with my mace to actually use it as an effective weapon against NPCs. Little game time out here until I get down this craggy area. Do this, okay, that should do me. Let's buy more rocks. Interesting. So another striking example, if someone loses their sight, the brain often adapts by enhancing other senses. The visual cortex might get repurposed for hearing or touch. Or if a person suffers a stroke that impairs one function, with therapy, the brain can sometimes reroute the tasks to other regions. While those are extreme cases, neuroplasticity is at work in everyday learning as well. Each time we form a new memory or habit, our brain's neural networks are literally adjusting. So when we talk about cultivating adaptability, we're not just speaking metaphorically. You are biologically designed to adapt. This weird graphic going on. By learning new things, exposing yourself to new experiences, and overcoming challenges, you're training your brain's adaptability muscles. Now, what does this all mean for our personal lives practically? That's the question, right? That's what we're here to answer. I don't want to get that. I just don't want to take the damage. Not that I can't take the damage. Well, it means that to be adaptable. Personally, we should nurture traits like openness, curiosity, and resilience. It means that practicing letting go of the way things used to be or how we expect them to be or expected them to be and instead dealing with how things are now. It means being willing to change our own habits when circumstances change. That could be as simple as adjusting your daily routine when you start living with a partner. Maybe you're a night owl, but they function better in the morning. Adaptability might mean meeting them halfway, on schedules especially. Or as heavy as reinventing yourself after a major life event, like a divorce or losing a loved one. Major life events. Let me run up here. So let's illustrate with a quick real-world example. Parenthood. Let's do that one. Becoming a parent is one of those life events that demands adaptability in spades. One day you're responsible only for yourself. The next day you have a tiny human depending on you around the clock. Your sleep schedule becomes chaotic. Your priorities shuffle, and free time evaporates. New parents who adapt tend to do things like sleeping whenever the baby sleeps, even if that means napping at noon, accepting help from relatives or friends instead of insisting on doing it all as you might have before. And being okay with their home not being perfectly tidy for a while. In essence, they adjust expectations and habits to fit their new reality. Those who struggle usually are those trying to maintain their old lifestyle exactly, which often leads to frustration or burnout. The adaptable mindset here is, quote, life is different now. Let me find a new normal rather than resenting that old normal is gone, unquote. And indeed, after some months, most parents do settle into the new equilibrium. Proof that we can adapt to even drastic changes and eventually feel stable again in a new form. And I'll add to that because I did have this scenario. Not only are you stable in the new form, as you become rooted in that new form, you need to adapt to come out of the new form as the baby of ages into different periods of their life. So your adaptability doesn't go away. It becomes sharpened, if you will. Another personal example might be, let's say, think of someone who has to relocate to a new country or city, perhaps for work or family reasons, right? The reasons are not important. Adaptability will determine whether the move feels more like an exciting adventure or a miserable exile. An adaptable person will be open to learning. Maybe picking up the local language, discovering new foods, making new friends, and appreciating what the new place offers. They carry the same, some traditions from home, but also bend to fit the new culture. Someone who resists adapting might only socialize with people from their old home, constantly comparing everything to the way it was back home and avoiding engaging in the new environment, likely remaining unhappy and feeling out of place. Over time, the adaptable individual often finds a second home in the new land, often even adopting a blended identity. This is common with immigrants who successfully integrate. This doesn't mean it's easy. There are certain pangs of homesickness, but adaptability provides a path to eventually thrive in the new context rather than just survive. Pretty cool stuff. Any comments in the comments section, that would be great. And I just realized that my stream is not letting me see this. That's all right. There we go. I wanted to see if anybody was on the chat. And they aren't. So if you are listening after the live broadcast, put some comments in the comment section. Let's share some stories that you have of adaptability. Ended that wrong. There we go. Perfect. So how can we cultivate adaptability in our personal lives? Well, here, I got a few approaches. Let me know what you think about it. Practice acceptance. As the Serenity Prayer wisely says, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So remind yourself to identify what's out of your control, mentally let go of those worries, and focus on what is in your control, usually your own attitudes or actions. This mental shift from resistance to acceptance is the first step in adapting. It's like facing a strong current. You stop wasting energy trying to push against it, and instead use it to guide you to a better position. Looking around. Surprised I found this many nodes of rock and stone. Oh, that's the impossible one to get. It's not impossible. You can get it. You want me to get it? I'll get it. I'll show you how to get this. Let's see if I can run up this. I can. All right. So I'll wait, and then what I'll do is I'll get that right over. There we go. Oh no, that was my bad. That's okay. We'll do it again. I know what I did wrong there. I was in position. I messed it up. So jump down, let it climb up, get into a position where I can dig. Ooh, down there. Did I get all of it? Yeah, I did get all of it. See? Took me 25 hit points of damage, or health points of damage, but I got it. That's alright. Like I said, I'm All Valley, I don't have to worry about damage as much. Okay. So, the second one I can give you is stay curious and keep learning. Curiosity is the antidote to fear and change. Fear of change, I should say. When faced with something new, try to explore it instead of avoiding it. Whether it's a new technology, a change in your job role, or a different perspective from someone you know. Approach it with a learner's mindset, a growth mindset, if you will. Ask questions, seek to understand. When you learn continuously, you train your brain to be flexible. And this could be as simple as picking up a new hobby or learning a skill outside your comfort zone. Ever take an improv class or tried cooking a cuisine you've never ate before? Perhaps coding an app. Little changes keep us limber for the big ones. What's another one I can give you? How about challenge routines? Generally, we like routines, and especially on this channel. We love them. useful. Routines are good, and they can give us a great perspective. Oh, look at that. I didn't even see these up here. They must have just grown back. Okay. So we're challenging routines gently. So we all love our comfort zones, but growth happens at the edges of that zone. Try changing up small routines to build comfort with change. For example, take a different route to work, or try using your non-dominant hand for the day in simple tasks, or engage with people who have different viewpoints. What I want you to do is notice how it feels. Probably a bit uncomfortable or awkward, depending on what you're doing. And observe that you can actually handle these micro experiences of adaptation. Build confidence that you can adapt when a bigger change comes. Think of it as adaptability training drills, if you will. How about another tool or another way to do this? Emotional agility. Let's do that one. So, psychologist Susan David talks about emotional agility, being able to experience our emotions fully, but also move past them when needed. Life changes often stir big emotions: fear, anger, sadness. Being adaptable doesn't mean we don't feel. It means we don't get stuck in them. Practices like mindfulness or journaling can help us acknowledge feelings. So let's say I'm really scared about this career change. And then calmly decide what to do next despite those feelings. It's similar to a technique in acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, where you observe a feeling without letting it derail your values-based action. So let's do how about find opportunity in adversity? This is a classic. Make lemonade out of lemons, right? Is the saying? So adaptable people can often reframe challenges as opportunities. Did you lose your job? It's an opportunity to rethink what you really want to do, or go learn that skill you've never had time for. Stuck at home due to an injury? Maybe finally tackling that big reading list, or cultivate a meditation practice. This positive reframe isn't about denying the difficulty. It's about pivoting from. Has a good way of saying this. You pivot from the mindset of, why is this happening to me? And you pivot to the question, how can this work for me? Psychologists call this benefit finding, and it's a hallmark of resilience and adaptability. To extract lessons or silver linings from hardship. So in summary, personal adaptability is like being a bamboo in the winds of life, rooted yet flexible. As an African proverb wisely puts it, when the music changes, so does the dance. We must be willing to change our dance steps when life plays a new tune. By embracing change, cultivating a flexible mindset, and staying true to our core values through life's ups and downs, we not only survive, we grow. each change becomes less of a threat and more of an adventure. All right, let me, I'm probably going to end it there, and we'll pick up professional life tomorrow. But I do want to kind of expand on the, on the topic of personal. Like, for example, a lot of people are looking at AI to change, right? I'm gonna lose my job over AI. Again, what can you control? Right away, right? There's a perfect adaptability mindset, opportunity. It's a big one. When I first learned of AI, I was sold. Right? How can I use this to my benefit? Not only to make more money, but to benefit or to make my job easier. And why wouldn't? AI is incredible. I make pictures for presentations. I use it to check my grammar. I use it to reword an email for content and understand. I want to say understandability, comprehend. You know, the comprehension side. Like I think everybody's been at this level of where you would write an email and you didn't make the point the way you thought you made the point, and it was read in a way that was not what you wanted, right? And it's like, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean this. I wanted this. When you use AI, you can actually look at it and say, "Hey, give me this." Give me the understanding that somebody reading this would get out of it, right? It's a great tool, awesome tool. And I actually went further and I started learning about the actual machine learning behind it, and how the AI function learned, how I can use it, how I can utilize it. Can I put it on my personal computer? What kind of, and I started just trying to adapt it to my plans, to use it as a tool, like a calculator. And it's amazing. So adaptability is so important, just so important. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get into adaptability of professional settings tomorrow. But if I go into it tonight, we'll turn this into like a 3-hour. We'll look at a 3-hour podcast, and I want to be able to segment it in such a way where people can, when they do come into the podcast, they can ask questions. We can go back and forth. We can really think through the topic, and maybe we can refine our thoughts on adaptability or the use cases or just anything we can think of. So with all of that said, I'm going to end it there tonight. I'll probably be back tomorrow night. I usually am Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. I do have a meeting on Monday night, covering for somebody, but I don't know if I'm covering this Monday, and on Monday. So thanks for joining me. I do appreciate you coming by, and if you're watching the recording, give me some tips in the comments section. How to use my audio. Is my video good enough? Is my audio not good enough? How can I set up my audio where YouTube doesn't flag me, or I shouldn't say flag. Flag's a bad word for it. Where the audio sounds professional, because I have a professional setup as far, it's amateur professional, pro-am, if you will. But I thought I had a good mic, and my shorts are coming out. Sorry. My YouTube shorts are coming out fine. But I don't feel that the live streaming audio is where it should be. So any advice, I take my own lectures to heart. So just keep that in mind. Adaptability, resilience, all of these things. Questioning, getting better, trying to move forward from where I am today. And hopefully on the 200th episode, it sounds just perfect, right? That's where I want to go. I want to keep evolving in the podcast. I did put out a new music video called Deadlines and Broken Clocks. Go ahead and check that out. It's on the YouTube, Elysian Echoes. I'll probably be putting that on Rumble tomorrow. And check out my shorts if you get a chance. My YouTube shorts are basically a little snippet or a little piece of knowledge from each of my podcasts. And of course, you can click on it to go to that episode, which the YouTube short is created from. So with all that said, I'm going to call it there, and we'll pick up where we left off tonight. Let me know if you do have any adaptability stories, or if you tried any of these adaptability, what did I call them? If you're cultivating your adaptability in your personal life, let me know how you're doing it. Did you use practice acceptance, staying curious and keep learning? Or did you use challenge routines? Or did you use emotional agility, or find the opportunity in adversity? Let me know. Let me know what you did and how it worked out for you. And a lot of these mental, what's a good way to say it? These mental exercises, if you will, these are designed. Well, they're not designed. I shouldn't say it that way. I should say, believe me when I say you're not going to do it overnight. Nothing worth doing is fast or immediate. It's challenging. It's upsetting sometimes. But we're teaching you about adaptability and resilience and, critical thinking. These are things that at the core you should be, at your core being, master these. Because if you do, I'm telling you, life will be so much easier. But let me know in the comments. Let me know if you find that is true or not. Until tomorrow, like, subscribe, share the show with your friends. I heard that helps. What's the other one? Oh, hit that notification bell. If you like my content, you'll get not only my content for the live shows, but you'll get the YouTube shorts and the music. And yes, it's AI music. I'm leveraging everything. AI music, but I do a lot of the musical direction, vocal direction, and I tailor a lot of the lyrics. I don't write the lyrics, but I tailor it. So some of the lyrics is written by me, some of it is not. It's written by the AI. But it turns out to be pretty incredible. And you'll see that with Deadlines and Broken Clocks. I hope you enjoy it. Till then, be safe, be confident, be adaptable. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night or have a good day, depending on where in the world you're listening. Until then, bye.
every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned, the blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hold my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.